Good morning, my dear student of class 10. Hoping you all are fine and safe at home. Today I shall start chapter 5, XML. So what is the full abbreviation of XML? XML means Extensible Markup Language. It is a markup language. I think as you have studied earlier, HTML. Hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language was also markup language. It was used for designing web pages. XML is also used, is a markup language, also used in web pages. Now, as we can make web pages using HTML. Now, why it became necessary for developing the XML? The reason is because there are some problems with HTML. One problem is that HTML cannot define the structure of the element. This was the major problem with HTML. So, in order to overcome the problem, XML was developed. Herein, when you write the XML, basically it is like this: the extensible markup language. Here you can see, because it starts with E, but X is taken, so E is small letter, X is capital letter, so XML. And XML was defined by W3C. W3C means World Wide Web Consortium. WWW, World Wide Web Consortium. It was developed by W3C, means World Wide Web Consortium, in 1997 for overcoming some of the problem which is associated with HTML. And XML is derived from SGML. SGML means Standard Generalized Markup Language. Standard Generalized Markup Language, which defines some of the tags used in markup language. So, XML is derived from SGML. Now, there are some basic differences between XML and HTML. So, I will be discussing the differences between the HTML and XML. Number one, it is the data separation. In HTML, the static text content is placed between the tags and is never modified. Whereas in XML, data is stored in separate XML file. Now, in case of data sharing also, we can, if there is a data incompatible, compatible means actually there is a term called compatible. Compatible means, for example, I have made something in one computer of say operating system is Windows 7. Now, if I want to view this same data in another computer of say operating system is Windows 8. Now, if this particular file runs on both computers, then you can say this is compatibility. Now, incompatible means there another lies the difference between the HTML and XML is the compatibility. So, XML benefit is that XML data are compatible. Then we have the document structure. Basically the structure of XML is tree. Just I am showing an example. It is like this. We will be finding one. Let me erase this part also. We will find say root, then child, then say subchild, sub child, then we'll be closing this child and then root. So you can see here basically the structure is tree shape, root. Now this child is a part, it falls under the root. Now this subchild is a part of child. So we are finding a tree like structure. So basically the texts are tree structured in case of XML. But as we have also seen in earlier chapters and also in class, that earlier chapters that we have discussed, we have done also practical with HTML, that the texts are not in a tree like structure. In HTML is not a tree structure, but XML is a tree like structure. Now most important is the tag. Now I think you have remembered the earlier chapters that we have the links or the inserting an image. We have seen some tags. Now in HTML all tags are predefined, whereas in XML the tags are user defined. I am just showing an example. Say for example, I want to insert an image. The tag will be img space src is equal to, I will give the link of the URL of the image. Now here for inserting the image we must use the tag img. src is an attribute of img tag. Now we cannot use our own defined tags in HTML, but in case of XML the tags are user defined. That means what? We can define our own tags. So this is very important difference between HTML and XML. Then the empty tags. In HTML I think you have seen, we have also seen that there are empty tags. Now I am telling what is empty tag. There are two types of element were there, empty element and container element. Those tag that has both on tag and off tag, they are known as container element, and those have only on tag but does not have off tag, they are known as empty tag or empty element. So it was there in HTML like img tag. img tag is a empty element because it does not have off tag, but when you look for anchor tag, a tag is a container element because it has both on and off. So this in XML actually all tags must have its corresponding closing tag. So there is like another difference between the HTML and XML. And another very important is that in XML the nested pair cannot overlap another pair, but whereas in HTML there can be overlapping in HTML, there can be overlapping, no problem, but in case of XML there should not be an overlapping. And another very important is that in XML the tag names are case sensitive, whereas in HTML the tags are not cases. This is very another important. For example, see, if I give my root as like this, student, S is capital, student, and then say another give name is a child of student, say like this. Now I am just of name of student. Now see here this tag, because tag, this is a tag of, because as I have told you earlier that in XML the tags are user defined. We can define our own tag. So I have defined one tag, student. Now here S is capital. When I have closed this the corresponding of is this one. Now here S is small letter. So it is not permitted. It is not permitted in XML. So we must, so this is case sensitive, that uppercase means capital letter, small letter, it should be perfect. So this is there, that in XML the tags are case sensitive, but in HTML the tags are not case sensitive. Another difference is based on attribute. Attribute, as I told you earlier, what is attribute? Attribute means the name associated with a tag which gives a value to that tag is known as attribute. I am just showing an example. Say body. Body is the name of a tag in HTML. BG color is equal to, say, I have given red. Now here body is the name of the tag. What is BG color? BG color is the attribute of body, and this red is the value which is associated with this attribute. So I think you understand what is this is attribute, this is attribute value, and this is tag. Now this particular attribute is associated with this tag. Another example I am giving, img space src is equal to, say, desert.jpg. Now here img is the tag. What is src? Src is the attribute, and this is the value. So like this, in XML all the elements can have associated, all the elements, that example I will be showing you, all the that elements or tags can have associated values, and whereas in HTML all tags does not have the associated values. Now body have, img have, but all cannot have. And attribute values, basically the attribute in case of HTML, we can give a attribute value without inverted comma, with inverted comma, or with single inverted comma, like this, or with single inverted comma, or with double inverted comma in case of HTML. But in XML, the attribute value must be within double inverted comma. It is mandatory. So there lies all the differences. I have discussed all the differences between the HTML and XML. Now, what is XML element? Now, the XML element is the most important part of an XML document. It is the start, it is the end, it is the everything. An XML element is everything from the element start tag to the elements end tag, including the start tag, end tag, and the content. Means everything of XML document is known as XML element, as I told you earlier, because XML elements are user defined, that we can define. So there are some rules for naming XML element. The rules are: number 1, name can contain letters, numbers, and other characters. The name can contain letters, can contain numbers, or any other characters like $sign, this and like this we can have. Name cannot start with a number or punctuation character. The name cannot start with a number, but as I told, first point was that name can have letters, numbers, or any other characters. But number 2 is that name cannot start with a number or punctuated character. It should always start with a letter. Name cannot start with the letters such as XML or XML or XML, because it is this particular name is already predefined, is there in that part, sir. So we cannot use these three names. Beside this, we can have any name, and name cannot contain spaces. So I am just showing you some examples so that you can understand. For example, I want to name an element of XML. So name can be like this: student, STUDENT. It is valid. Or say number 1, number 1. I have not given space. Number 1. So it is valid. But if I write like this, 1 number, it is invalid because name cannot start with a number. It is invalid. Now if I give like this, number space 1, it is also invalid because we cannot have a space. But one thing now we can, now I am telling you what can you do. We can, if you want to have like this, we can give an underscore character. So these are the rules for naming XML elements. Now let me show you a structure of XML. School, then we have student, under student we have first name John, last name John Smith, last name, then student, okay, student, under student first name, and then we have these are the two child of this one. Let me do it in another way. Let me have another child. Let me have another child so that you can get it more clear. Name. Under name we have first name John, and last I am just offering the corresponding first name, last name Smith. This is L, okay, this is L. Last name roll number, say 1, roll number, then I am closing this, okay, name and roll number, then I am closing the student, then I am opening another one, teacher, then name, say these are just example, okay, and name and subject English, subject, okay, teacher, then I am opening the school. If you see this example, it will be clear to you. I am telling what here school is the root, because every XML document must have a root element. So school is the root. Student is a child of the root. So the school have how many child? Actually the school have two child. One is student, another is teacher. Now there is a subchild of there is a child of student is name. Name is another two child, first name and last name. And student have two child, name and roll number, and the first name and last name is the child of name. Then of student. Then we are going open teacher. Teacher have two child, name and subject. Then this, see, these are the values. As I told you that we can associate some value associated. And another thing is, see, in this whole this XML document, all these tags, there is no predefined tag. All the tag I have given. This name, school name I have given, student I have given. So these are known as user defined. The tags are user defined. So the entire structure of XML document is tree-like structure. You can see that tree-like structure is there. So the XML code has a tree-like structure. The first line is called the processing instruction. The first line is called the, oh actually I have missed another one. XML version equal to 1.0. The first line of an XML document is called preprocessing instruction. This is preprocessing instruction. This here it starts with a question mark. Then XML version is what? 1.0, and it also ends with the question mark. And then it starts basically with like this, with a less than sign, question mark, and it ends with question mark greater than sign. Then we have these all are elements: school, student, name, first name, last name, roll number, teacher, name, subject. These all are known as elements. Elements, as I told you just a few minutes ago, I have discussed what are the rules for naming element. Can you see, have I broken any rule? So I have not broken any rule, because here you can see S small letter. So S small letter. So I have followed all this. So I have followed the element. What are the rules for making element? Now, and I have also given the associated values also with, you can see, with this all this element. So these all are the elements of XML. The topmost element is called the root. Here school is the root element, or it is also known as document element, and any element may contain other element. Now an element can contain other elements. See, student have how many element? Name element and roll number element. The name element have another two element, first name and last name. So we can have any this, and all the elements nested under the, and all these elements are nested under the root. Now do you remember I have given you some question, and there was a someone asked me about that tree structure. Then I told, so I am showing you how can you draw a structure for XML tree. How can you draw an XML tree? So I will be drawing the tree for this one. I will be drawing the tree for this one. Now from here you can see that my root element is school. Root is school. So basically I give it inside this box like this. Now then you see, school has how many child? Now this name is not a child of school, name is the child of student. Now first name and last name is neither the child of student nor school. First name and last name is the child of name. So from here we can see that the root element has two child. One is student, you see it is closed here on, off, another is teacher. So it has two child. You can give like this. It has two child. One is student, another is teacher. Student, another is teacher. Now, is there any child of student? Yes, the student contains two child. One is, you can see here that I have done one mistake. Here I have not closed this off. Yes, there was a little bit mistake. I have not closed this off name. From here you can see. So, name and roll number. So, the student contains two child, name and roll number. Roll number. Now coming to teacher, the teacher has two child, name and subject. Name and subject. Now, is there any more child? Yes, it is there. The name has another two child. First name, you can see, and the last name. So, the name has two child. First name and last name. And this, there is no further other child. So, this is the XML tree for this XML document. I think you understand. See, school, child is student and teacher. Student has how many child? Two child, name and roll number. See, name is open, name is closed. Actually, I earlier I have done a little bit mistake, but then I have actually omitted this one. Then I have written it. This I am closing it here. So this, for this XML document, this is the XML tree structure. Hope you understand. And basically XML document, I think you remember that. HTML document, what you have done, the HTML document, how we have made it, we have typed the tags, the codes on the notepad and saved it as what? Any name, say test dot HTML. Same case is there. In XML, we will type this document in notepad and save it with extension .xml. Say for this one, say the name of the document is school. So, it will be like this, school.html. You can have any name. There is no limitation that name must be this. You can use any name. So, see, for this document, XML document, so I have typed in notepad and I will be saving it as school.xml. So, the file extension is .xml. Now, what do you mean by comments in XML? If you could remember, basically in programming languages, the most important was the code or tag which makes the program. But sometimes we use for defining this particular code or tag, we give sometimes we may give that this is this. So these are called comment. For example, just give an example. here say these are the tags, this is the say element. So I can for making someone understand this is what, I can write a comment here. So comment, do you remember in C class 9 when you have done the C, we have used the comments. Now comments has actually comment does not affect the code, but it is associated with the code that it processing, it is not responsible for any processing of the code. It just means like in your book you may find like this, that top like this, do you know like this, this is a comment. A comment means a short explanation of this code. So we can use comments in XML. So basically a comment can composed of few words or a comment can composed of multiple words. Basically we write a comment like this. So okay, let me erase this tree structure. Hope you understand the tree structure. So I am erasing the tree structure, student, teacher, then name, okay, roll number and name, subject, okay. A comment in XML, it is basically we give like this and we close it with this one. So basically when we write a comment, we start with a less than sign, then we give a sign of exclamation and we give two dash dash, then. So for example, I want to give a comment here. So I want to make someone understand that this is the root, this particular line is the root of the XML document structure. So I can give it like this. It is the root element, okay, then dash dash. So this basically, see, when this particular XML document get processed, so this line will not be processed because of this sign, the converter or the interpreter understand that this is a comment, so it is not related with any of the processing of this XML document. So comment can be of single line and comment can be of multi-line comment also. A single line comment, this is a single line comment, or we can have a multi-line comment like this, we can have two lines, and similarly we close with this, we like this, we will write and then say this, it is a test of comment, it is a test of comment. So just like this. So comment can be composed of few words or a more than one line. Comments cannot be placed at the top of the XML document. That is the first line in the, but comment cannot be the first line. We cannot give the comment at the top. We cannot give. Now what white spaces in XML? Basically XML, there is a word called truncation, truncate. There is a word called truncate, T-R-U-N-C-A-T. What do you mean truncate? There are similar two terms there, truncate and round off. Truncate means cut and round off means mix up. So HTML basically if you have given, suppose in a line, if you give more than 3-4 spaces in between a line, so it will HTML it will make to a single white space, but XML how many space we give, he will show you to all, so it does not truncate the white spaces in XML document. And XML also stores a new line as LF, line feet. And in Windows, basically the new line is normally stored as a pair of carriage return CR or line fed. Now what are the rules for well-formed XML document? What are the rules? So there are some rules. A well-formed XML document must meet the following requirements. Number one, the root and the child must be nested in a proper way. The root and the child must be nested. As I told you earlier that in case of XML, we must nest the root and the child properly. See, by seeing the structure, we can understand that this is the root and student is a child of root. Now, say for example, say what is last name? Now, last name is a child of name and name is a child of student. Now, say teacher. Is teacher a child of student? No, because already we have terminated, see, student here. So, this is one child, this is another child and these two are the child of this one. So, the root and the child must be nested in the proper way. This is the rule number one. Number two, each start tag must have corresponding end tag. See, start it has corresponding end, start corresponding end, start corresponding end, then start corresponding end, start corresponding end, start corresponding end. So, we will say all this, all tag have the corresponding start tag have the corresponding end tag. All empty tags must be nested properly. If there are any empty tag used, if we use an empty text, we must nest it properly. As XML tags are case sensitive, the start tag and end tag must be of the same spelling and case. This I told you earlier also. As XML is a case sensitive, suppose here I have written say school as small letter. Here also I have written small letter. You may think this actually this small letter. It is small letter. Now, if I say for this one, this is T, small letter T. If I give it capital, say, and if I give it small, there will be a problem. So, what is said that as XML tags are case sensitive, the start tag, start and end tag must be of the same spelling and case. So, it must be of the same spelling and case also means small letter, capital letter means this means lower, uppercase, lowercase, it must be of the same case. XML attribute values are enclosed within double quotation mark. Basically, the values we must give within double quotation mark. If you give any values, we must give within double quotation mark. Actually, this was just an example. So, these are the rules for well-formed XML document. Now, how can you validate an XML document? A valid XML document must have following things. A valid XML document must have a DTD. DTD means document type definition. It must include DTD. And what is DTD? A DTD provides a list of elements contained in an XML document. How many elements are there? The list is how many elements are contained in XML document. So, this is maintained by the DTD, document type definition. Now, XML supports two types of DTD. One is internal DTD, another is external DTD. Now, what is internal DTD? An internal DTD is contained within XML document. An internal DTD is contained within XML document, and external DTD is a separate file that defines the elements or other document components of the current XML. So, actually internal means which is contained within the XML document is internal, and if there is a link of that document with another file, that is external DTD. There are some key features of internal DTD. They are, an internal DTD is contained in the XML document. So, we know that an internal DTD is contained inside the XML document. Number 2, it starts after sign and exclamation doc type. It starts after sign and exclamation doc type declaration with a left square bracket, and we start with a left square bracket. Left square bracket. It ends with a right square bracket, and it ends with a right square bracket, and before that, after that we will be having this greater than sign. The first line in the square bracket mentions the order. You can see in your book page number, you can see the example, page number 98. Page number 98, XML version 1.0, you can see internal DT is there and output is also there. Doc type item, then see doc type item, then element item, code, name, memory, color, price, element code, PC data. So there is something. So you can see that it ends with a, so it starts with a, you can see the example is basically, you can see in line number that it has started with this one. After Dr. V, it has started with this one and is ended with this. And the declaration of the first line in the square bracket mentions the order. Then first line mentioned in the example, you can see code, name, memory, color, price. This is the order. This is the order of the element. So order is given. For example, see name. If you define the name before the code, there will be a problem. It is already defined that first code will come, then name, then memory, then color, then price. So it is the order of the code. So it is already defined here. And the declaration of element starts with the uppercase sign of exclamation element. The elements are declared with sign of exclamation with the uppercase element. You can see in your example is there in your book, page number 98. Now what is PC data? PC data means parse character data, PC data, and basically it represents the 0 or more characters. And when we are referring anything to external DTD, there are two keywords are used. When we are referring something with external DTD, so basically two keywords are used. One is system, another is public. Now, what is the difference? So these two keywords are used with not internal but with external DTD. Now when the keyword system indicates that the DTD is stored on the local, system means it is stored on the local hard disk of the computer, of the server or the computer, and the keyword public is used when particular file or data is being retrieved or brought from a different server or different computer, then we'll use the keyword public. This is same computer or same server, and this is different computer, different server, so we'll use public. And what is XML parser? An XML parser is a software. XML parser is a software that reads an XML document, identifies all the XML tags and passes the data to various applications. Now when we type an XML document in a notepad, then this parser, parser it does what? Basically a parser is a software which basically with many operating systems, the parser is inbuilt, it is there. So the parser, it reads an XML document. First it reads, then it identifies, then it tries to identify all the tags of the document, and then it passes the data to various applications or softwares. So this is the work of the XML parser. Now basically there are two types of parser are there. One is non-validating XML parser, another is validating XML parser. What is non-validating? A non-validating XML parser checks that if an XML document is well formed. A non-validating XML parser checks whether the XML document is well formed. And a validating XML parser checks whether the XML document is well formed and also ensures that all the elements in the document are exactly as specified in DTD. Now the difference is that non-validating, it just checks whether the document is well formed, well structured, tree-like structure is there. But this is non-validating, and the validating XML parser does, it checks whether the XML document is well structured. Also it checks that all the elements in the document are same as we have defined in the DTD. How we have defined the order of defining the elements, so whether it is in the same order or not. So this is checked by validating XML parser. Then there are some sometimes while declaring a child element, so we use some force specifiers are used. One is empty, another is any, another is mixed, another is children element. So empty is used when there is no content in the element. Any is used if there is any element in the content. Mixed is used when there is a combination of character and child element. And the children element is used when we describe more than one or more child. So these four specifications are used in defining the child element. Then we have actually while now how a child element should be used within the XML document. So there is also some specification. So basically there are symbols associated. So two symbols are there. One is comma, another is pipe. One is comma, another is pipe. This is known as comma and this is pipe. The comma, let me give it a bit bigger so that you can understand. Comma, this is pipe. The comma element, it said that the element must appear strictly in the order in which they are defined in the declaration. How they are defined in the element declaration, it must appear in the order. Then we use the comma, and pipe is used. The element may occur once or many times in any order. So it can occur in one times or many times. We will use pipe in any order. So this in a order declared and this we use when we can give in any order. And there are also some symbol which are associated that decides how many times a child element can appear. So we will use, basically there are three symbols used. They are question mark, asterisk and plus. Question mark, asterisk and plus. The question mark symbol indicates that the element may not appear at all or may appear once in the XML document. It either may not appear at all or it may appear at least once. And asterisk, the asterisk symbol indicates the element may not appear at all or may appear any number of times. And the plus, the elements, the symbol indicates the element must appear at least once or any number of times. So you can just see the difference. Question mark is used where indicates that either it may not, element may not appear or may appear once. This, it may not appear, asterisk, this may not appear or may appear any number of times. And the plus is used that indicate that the element must appear at least once or any number of times. Now attribute type declaration. So basically the attribute list declaration contains the following information: the element to which the attribute associated, number one. Number two, the name of the attribute. As I also discussed, attribute means what? The as it is basically associated with the tag. The element to which an attribute is associated, number 1. Number 2, the name of the attribute. Number 3, the type of the attribute. And number 4, the default value of the attribute. So 4 things are there. Element to which the attribute associated, to which element the attribute associated, because attribute must associated with a element. So which element the attribute associated, number 1. Number 2, the name of the attribute. Number 3, the type of the attribute. And number 4, the default value of the attribute. So when we define a default value of the attribute, so there are 4 variations are there. One is required, one other is implied, fixed and supplied. So required means what? That the value of the attribute must be supplied. When there is a mandatory that the value of the attribute must be given, we can use the value required. Implied means the XML application decides which value to use. If we do not give any value, so what should the XML parser which value should be used as the attribute value? So this is implied. Then we have fixed. The value of the attribute is included in the declaration itself. If the value of the attribute is given within the declaration itself, this is fixed. And supplied, the DTD supplies the default value. Sometimes the DTD supplies the default value if no value is given. If no value is provided in the XML document, so then DTD supplies a default value. And then we come to the last part, entity. What do you mean by entity? So entity is basically a sequence of character which is used to represent another sequence of character. An entity is a sequence of character which is used to represent another sequence of character. There are some characters that have special interpretation or meaning in XML. For example, say this greater than sign. When you use this greater than sign, so when we will use in case of HTML, so we will use this like this, say this is greater than, so we will use like this and %GT, then we will give semicolon. So this means what? This is meant by this. GT means greater than. For example, when you will use the less than sign, say this one less than sign, so it will be like this and %LT then semicolon. So this and this are mandatory. LT means less than, then we will give an % sign and at the end we will give a semicolon. So this is how, so there are basically 2 types of entities are there. One is predefined, another is user defined. Predefined means what? Already which is there in the XML application. This is predefined. If there are already some symbols are present or already it is there, some characters are there, this is called predefined. And user defined means what? That we ourselves can define some of the entities. So there are 2 types of entities, predefined entity and user defined entity. Now this is this we can use the predefined entity. These are predefined entity. Another I'm giving example, say apostrophe A. So this one will give like the %, pos, apos, 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 this. So these all are predefined. And user defined entities are the basic syntax for when we are using an entity. If you want to use an user defined entity, so the syntax is like this: less than sign, the sign exclamation, entity, then we will give an entity name. We can give any entity, we can give any name. We will give the entity name. Entity name is equal to, after equal to, now what should be the symbol? What should be the symbol? And then you close it. say entity name, any name you can give, what should the name of the entity, and then you will give the particular character or group of character. So this is in case of user defined entity. So this is in case of user defined entity. So this was all of chapter 5 XML. Hope you have understood, and if any problem persists, if any problem arises, then you can message me, you can comment, you can message, you contact me, you can message me, so that I will try to solve your problem, or I will try to make you understand. And also any problem you can share with me, sir, this is problem I am not understand, then I will try to solve your problem. And also once the school lockdown is over, school opens, then we can if there is any problem, then I will also try my level best to try to solve your problem. And those problems you get, you just write the problems in a copy, so that then you can ask me and I will try to solve your problem. Okay, thank you, and hoping you all are fine. Okay.